If you just want to get the contract out to the client, have the client review it, sign it, return it to you with all of the required documentation, okay, then we would come back and enter all of the appropriate information here. So once you have the client's pay stubs, we're going to want to enter that data. If they have a profit and loss, you're going to want to break that down and state it here. If there is a profit and loss, you can simply click Add New. You'll see a new field has generated here, and you can type profit and loss. You can enter the amount on a monthly basis. Let's go with 3,000, and so forth. Okay, now keep in mind for the rest of this training that a lot of these fields will not apply to each client. For example, this client doesn't get overtime. I'm going to select it. They don't get any commissions or bonuses. They don't get an unemployment, no child support or Social Security or rental income. So what we're going to want to do is, because these are required, we need to delete them so that our processing team knows that it does not apply to that client. So I've selected these fields, and now I'm going to click Delete. As you can see, they've been removed. We still have monthly wages. Okay, so let's go ahead and enter the monthly wages. Let's say they're 2,000, and click Save Changes. And continue. So this person has their own business. They do also maybe are a W-2 wage earner as well. So we're going to need the appropriate documentation for both a profit and loss statement and monthly wages. So those could be pay stubs, of course. And once we've got those documents back from the client, you're going to want to select these items and click Receive. That means you have them. Okay, great. So you've entered the appropriate information and you have those documents back from the client. We're now going to move into assets. We have checking accounts, savings, CDs, stocks, 401k, estimated home value, and other real estate. So one of the required documents is both checking and savings information. So we're going to want to state how much they have in their current checking/savings account. If it's a joint account, well, let's put 3,000. And you can make a note here. It's both, checking and savings. We're going to want to click that we received it. Now, what we can do here is delete these fields because it does not apply to the client. If it does, of course, well, click Received and enter the current value. But I'm going to want to delete these for this particular client. There you have it. Let's go to expenses now. There are a number of expenses, and not all will apply to your client. Please note, though, that anything that shows up on the borrower or co-borrower's credit report, the lender is going to know. So we need to talk to the client and say, hey, listen, let's go through this list and let me know what's going to show up on your credit report. So, for example, we have auto loans as a required field. Of course, credit card information is very important too. And just make note that those are required. If they don't have any of these, let's just go through and check them. There's no child support, no dependent care. There's no life insurance. Let's see, what else might they, they might not have a Master, Discover, or American Express. They don't have child care, student tuition, health insurance, doctor medical bills, clothing, lunch money, spending money. Let's delete those fields because it doesn't apply. So they do have entertainment costs on a monthly basis of, let's say, $200. Their car insurance could be $100 a month. Auto loan, say $300. Groceries for a family of 4, let's go with $500. Car expenses, gasoline, most likely gasoline, let's go with $200 a month. And the Visa. What is the monthly payment for the Visa card? $250. Let's say their balance is $5,000. Okay, let's say that we have documentation for the auto loan and the Visa. The rest are optional, so we don't have to, of course, click Received, but we need to receive the statements for the auto loan and the Visa card. We now move into the Hardship tab. Has the client filed for bankruptcy? No. If yes, well, what type of bankruptcy were they in? Chapter 7 or 13? And fill in the appropriate information. We're going to go with no for this training. We always do check to see if the client is going to qualify for the Obama plan. It's Making Home Affordable plan. So let's go ahead and select this information. If they click yes to them all, they might qualify for the Obama plan. These are just some summary questions. It's good to know if they've received notice of foreclosure. We're going to go with no. Have they been offered a loan modification in the past 12 months? No. And have you been declined a modification in the past 12 months? Let's say no. We're now moving into hardship questions. Very important. Client must have a valid hardship. We need to prove it. So we're going to select yes to all of these items. Some may not apply to your client. So you can select no, of course. Hardship explanation. A hardship letter is required for a loan modification. But this is where we're going to want to talk in detail about what went on with the client's financial situation. For training purposes, I'm just going to do reduced income. But, we do have some hardship letter templates that you can use and get out to your client. And your account executive can guide you on how to draft a nice hardship letter for your client. Let's save these changes. Let's now move into utilities. Electric, telephone, cell, water, natural gas, cable, and internet. Let's go ahead and enter the data. $50 a month for electricity. Let's say their phone bill is $50 a month. Cell phone is $70. Water, let's go with $40. Natural gas, we can go with $40 as well. Cable, TV, satellite, let's go with $60. And internet, $40. Okay, let's say that we have statements for all of these. That's great and that's important. So let's click that we receive these statements for each utility. Received. Very good. Now let's move into documentation. As you can see, we did talk about how important it is to gather the signed agreement, authorization form, cease communication notice, and hardship letter. Let's say you got that back along with all of these items. Tax returns for 07 and 08 are required. Training leaks pay stubs for the first half of October and so forth. Let's just go ahead and say that we received all these from the client. Okay, they don't have overtime, commission, unemployment, or any of the following. So let's click that we did receive these though. Okay, good. Now, once again, we're going to want to delete the items that do not apply. Okay. Let's go ahead and see if we can complete the application. This means that we have all of the agreements, all of the documents off the checklist. That's when we know we have a complete package. All right, let's go ahead and complete the application. Application information has been saved. Very good. All right. So that's a good sign. Now what we're going to want to do is once you fax, email, or upload all of the documentation, you're going to want to send this off to Ganimex. So let's click Send to Ganimex.